Okay, here's a short video on what I'm doing to help insulate a glass door. I will call it an interior / exterior glass door because it's somewhat of a combination. So there's a few of the guitars we've got here laying around the house. All right, so what it is this door is to what I would call a cold porch. The porch is outside the foundation of the house and has no insulation in it. This house was built in 1938. That door is original, I believe, to 1938. Appears to be based on the doorknob and everything else, and it matches all the finish of a lot of the other woodwork of the house, which maybe I'll show you in a second. So the problem is really it's an exterior door. It's buffered by this closet or porch, we'll call it. So there's really not as much wind, and the temperature is slightly moderated, but in effect it's an exterior door. And wind does get around the edges. I've had to put some trim pieces on the bottom there. I actually bought a little more rubbery one to upgrade that to help stop that, obviously, with this cold. The options are to replace the door. I don't really want to do that. A, it's just not in the budget right now, so it's kind of irrelevant. But B, in order to get a wood door, it would be very expensive. Even something like that exterior door out there is less than 10 years old, and it's helped out a great deal in stopping the wind and, again, just kind of creating a buffer zone. But I don't know. You can go to your big box store and see there. To get a wood door that would be like that door, might have some matching to this. Either I'd have to try and match it or get a professional to come here and try and match it myself. I'm probably looking at $1,000 or more, I'm sure. Maybe $1,200. And I don't even know if I could install that myself properly. That would probably be a chore in this old house like this, especially trying to do it right. So for right now, I'm just going to try and do a workaround solution, and that is to put some bubble wrap up on the glass. I did it as a test last night, just quickly, or a couple days ago. Put your hand up against it. It feels a lot different. You can't lay the bubble wrap because this has, I know some people lay bubble wrap right on the window. They squirt water on it or something. You can't do that here because you got these wooden things. So I'm just going to lay it right across here, and I'll show you too when I'm done. But I did a test. It seemed out to work pretty good on that. So see also too, that's going to put got a cheaper threshold down there. It's just plastic. Got a little better one here. It's got screws on it, and it's a very soft rubber, and it'll hit that. I guess that's marble down there. So, and there's the newer real exterior door. And put a little foam here, some of that insulated foam. That helped a great deal. Doesn't seem to be a lot of leaking up here. It's a pretty tight fit. There's very little air coming through. Also notice this piece here. This trim piece has kind of fallen out. It probably got hit during moves or just came out. So I'm going to get a rubber mallet and tap that thing back in because there's a crack right in there. So little stuff as I'm going through this, starting to notice. Again, should have done a lot of this stuff years ago, but what are you going to do? With an older home, there's always projects to do between roof, garage roofs, et cetera, et cetera. So, all right. So it gives you a background. I'll show you what I'm working on. So this is bubble wrap from a office supply store. I can't remember how much that cost. I had that from some other packing from 4 or 5 months ago. But the other thing too is I'm going to reuse this. I'm going to kind of try and set this up where I don't throw it away every year. I'm going to fold it up, stuff it in the closet, and redo it every winter. Got myself some good quality 3M painter's tape. Little concerned about the finish on the door, so I want to be careful about that. Maybe strip some off, double check it. Don't want to ruin the finish on the door. I bought this for some other windows. That's just from Home Depot. That's just straight plastic. I'm going to put some plastic around some of the windows. So that's some of the materials I've got right there. Here's my first try at it. Piecing together these bubble wraps. Actually, now I've got clear tape, so I'm going to run clear tape on those center pieces. And also I'm going to run it on both sides. So when they overlap, it's going to be taped on both sides. Also, I put masking tape around the edge, and I'm folding it over. So that's going to be somewhat permanent. So in effect, it'll have a trim of masking tape. Again, that's the older tape I had, but it works okay. So then when I put the new tape on it, it's going to be attached to the door, the masking tape, like that, so to speak. Then when I pull it off, I can pull it off and throw this away, and I'll still have the plastic area with its own frame of masking tape. I'll show you a little closer up there. So that's a piece of masking tape just folded around, if that makes sense. I think it's going to help hold the thing a little steady there. Also, I'm going to take this kind of junky one. It doesn't look as good. Not that I really care how it looks for right now. There's a door, another door here on the side porch, which is the same setup. And this one is just straight to the outside, so it's even worse. There's a screen door out here. I guess one of the things I could do someday is maybe put a storm door out there. That might make a good quality storm door. Might make a huge difference. I'm sure it would, as a matter of fact. So, but for right now, I'm just going to bubble wrap, and actually going to try and put it on the outside of the door, just so it's not really in the way. All right. More later. So a little diversion here, just so some people maybe don't live in an older house. You can see some of the construction details. This is all original from 1938. So these are what's called piano windows. So they're little windows there. Now actually these aren't in bad shape. They have another wooden frame window on the outside, so there's about 3 inches of airspace, and those things have been painted over so many times they're actually really sealed up, at least on the other, from the outside in. So those aren't bad. So here's a stone fireplace. Some interesting stones. They call that, I think, ribbon. Mortar, original mantle. Those are actually some vinyl records in memory of David Bowie. Actual vinyl records from, I bought them years and years ago, really, when these albums, not when they first came out, actually later. These came out a little bit before my time, most of them. One of the great all-time album covers, Aladdin Sane. This is from Changes of One. That's the back of the Ziggy Stardust album, in case you've never seen it. All right, a little diversion there. Here's what the piano windows look like on the other side again. Pretty sure that's all the original finish, varnish, etc. And this area is, here's the main entry door right to my right here. And this area was literally where people put the piano, an upright piano and a few tea tables, maybe a chair or two, and that's where everyone sat around. And for entertainment, somebody played the piano. And here's what the new one looks like that's going to go in the front door. The other one that's my first pass, so that's going to go in the side door. Nobody sees that. Again, not that I'm that concerned about it right now. And whether this works or not, I don't know. I'm sure some insulation engineering person's going to let us know that. I mean, again, putting your hand an inch away from the door, it feels a lot different. So it is bubble wrap. It's just creating a little bit of an air gap for whatever that's worth. There it is. So there's the one. I've got clear tape sealing the seams on both sides. I put a band of the masking tape kind of as a frame around it. Okay, this is the last section. I've got everything installed. I put sheet goods over the screen door out there. I don't need to show you that. You know what a screen door looks like, and just put that on there. It's not really going to provide any insulation, but certainly I could even see how much the sheet goods was being pushed out. It's just going to limit the air pressure blowing against the door. So it's going to slow down any wind on there. Now I've got the bubble wrap, which is going to act, I believe, as somewhat of an insulation. Put that on the outside of the door. You'll have to, probably if you do this, clean the outside of the door, wipe it down. I had to do that. I had to leave the door open here for about 20 minutes, just to let it warm up just a bit, wipe it down a little bit. So the tape has a better chance of sticking. So you can see the bubble wrap now. Again, when I put my hand up against the window, it's way warmer than it used to be. I mean, it used to be, you could, if you put your hand right here, it'd feel like 20 degrees. If it was 15, 20, 10 degrees outside now, or 2, it'd feel like 15, 20 degrees literally. So I think it's having some positive benefit. I don't know how much, but there it is. Let me show you the front door real quick. This just gives you a better idea. You can see what it looks like. Doesn't look that bad. Again, I don't really care. Worried about saving a few bucks in energy. Just keeping the house more comfortable too. Even if it's not so much how much I save. So there's what it looks like from here. Can't really see it all that great. There you go. There's the tape. All the way around. And like I said, I'm gonna have to come here in a couple days and kind of peel some of this off here and just make sure it's not causing any damage to this wood. So I would not use packing tape or duct tape or anything like that. I would really only use painter's tape, especially if you're putting it on varnish or quality wood. All right, hope this helps. Enjoy.